Chosen one. Stop scrolling. Heaven itself has pressed pause on everything around you because there is a word you must hear. The noise of the world has been silenced for this single moment, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. God doesn't say this often, but tonight, He is speaking directly to you. You've been sensing it, an invisible stirring, a quiet pull in your spirit that you can't explain. The world keeps moving, yet something inside you refuses to move with it. You've tried to numb it, distract it, ignore it, but the whisper keeps coming back. This is not ordinary restlessness. This is the sound of heaven trying to get your attention. You are not like the rest. You never were. From the moment you entered this world, the unseen marked you. While others blended in, you stood out without meaning to. Even in rooms where no one knew your name, the spirit realm recognized your presence. There is an authority in you that angels honor and darkness fears. That's why you felt tension without cause, resistance without reason. The warfare around your life has always been proof of your assignment, not a sign of your weakness. Listen carefully. Chosen one. This is not a random message floating through your feed. Heaven has interrupted the ordinary to deliver the extraordinary. Right now, the very air you breathe carries divine intention. You are not being called to comfort, you are being called to clarity. The delay, the silence, the isolation, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. God was pulling you aside because He couldn't let your anointing be diluted by distraction. The heavens are leaning close. And you must understand, your name has been spoken in places you have never walked. Your obedience today determines the doors that will open tomorrow. The angels assigned to you are waiting for your next yes. Don't look back. Don't wonder if you're ready. You wouldn't have been chosen if you weren't already prepared in secret. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 16, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." Let those words pierce your heart. God chose you long before you ever knew how to choose Him. Before the doubt, before the pain, before the confusion, He had already stamped your destiny with divine purpose. You are not an accident of time or circumstance. You are a deliberate expression of Heaven's will on earth. Every closed door was direction. Every no was divine redirection. When you thought you were being forgotten, God was actually hiding you in plain sight, because what He is doing through you cannot be rushed, copied, or compared. You are being prepared for a season that demands divine precision. So, lift your chin. Chosen one. The same voice that spoke light into darkness now speaks into your silence. You are mine. Heaven has invested too much in you to let you fade into the background. The oil on your life is rare. The calling on your name is sacred. The reason it feels heavy is because it's holy. You've wondered why your path seems lonelier than others, why your journey has been filled with unseen battles. It's because you carry something others don't, the assignment to bring light into places still covered in shadow. Your spirit irritates the darkness because it carries Heaven's blueprint for breakthrough. Do not despise the process. Every tear has been counted, every sacrifice recorded. When the moment comes, everything that once broke you will become the story that blesses others. You will speak, and chains will break. You will walk, and atmospheres will shift. Right now, take this moment as holy ground. You are being awakened to who you've always been. Heaven is speaking. And this message is your confirmation that you are not forgotten, you are chosen. If this word has touched something deep in your heart, don't let it stop here. Share it with someone who needs to hear that their life still carries divine purpose. Like, comment, and subscribe, not for numbers, but as a prophetic act that says, I hear you, Lord, and I accept my calling. And if this resonates in your spirit, comment this number below, 777, a sign that what God started in you, He will finish. From the moment of your birth, heaven already knew your name. You were not the result of chance or circumstance. You were marked from birth. Every breath you have ever taken has been a line in a divine script written before the foundations of the earth. There were words spoken over your spirit long before your first cry. And even now, the echo of those words follows you through every season. You may not remember the moment God chose you, but all of heaven does. The day you entered this world, a shift took place in the unseen. The darkness trembled because it recognized what was being released, a soul clothed in purpose, a light destined to disrupt the shadows. Your existence carries weight beyond what eyes can see. You were never ordinary. You were set apart, sealed, and assigned. This is why your life has never fit into the molds of others. You've often wondered why normal never felt like home. Why conformity has always felt like a cage. It's because your spirit was not designed to blend in. It was designed to stand out, to break barriers, to walk paths untraveled. You are not meant to follow patterns. You are meant to create them. Every trial that touched your life was measured by divine permission. Every storm that tried to consume you was used by God to strengthen what He placed inside you. Even before you could speak His name, His hand was already guiding your steps. There were unseen interventions, moments you should have fallen, but didn't. Moments you should have broken, but somehow stood. That somehow was grace. You carry a mark, not visible to human eyes, but undeniable in the spirit realm. It is the mark of the chosen, those who cannot be forgotten, no matter how far they wander. The world may not understand you. Even those closest to you may misjudge you. But heaven knows you by name. You have been sealed with divine purpose that no circumstance, nor failure, and no enemy can erase. As was spoken in the sacred texts of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 4, "For He chose us in Him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in His sight." These words are not history, they are identity. You were not chosen after you proved yourself worthy. You were chosen before you even began. This means your calling does not depend on perfection, but on divine intention. God saw every flaw, every weakness, every future mistake, and still, He said, "This one is mine." That's the mystery of grace. You were selected with full knowledge of your imperfection, yet still deemed fit to carry His glory. Think of that, before the sun learned to shine, before the seas learned to move. Your purpose was already set. Heaven wrote your name into eternity's design. That is why the attacks on your identity have been relentless. The enemy has always tried to make you question what heaven has already confirmed. But you must remember, chosen one, opposition is not evidence of abandonment. It is confirmation of calling. You've walked through seasons where silence felt like rejection, where prayers seemed unanswered, where purpose felt distant. But even in those moments, You were being refined. The wilderness was not a waste, it was a womb, in isolation. Your roots grew deep, in obscurity. Your faith found shape. And though the world saw nothing happening, heaven saw you becoming. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where God needs you to be hidden until the right moment of unveiling. There is purpose in your process. The same hand that anointed you before birth is still guiding you now. Even when the path seems uncertain, the timing of your life is not delayed, it is divine. When you question your worth, remember that you were chosen before time itself existed. When you doubt your strength, remember that heaven invested eternity into your purpose. You are not a wanderer, you are a weapon formed in the secret place, designed to pierce through darkness simply by being who you are. Take a moment to feel that truth. You were known, loved, and appointed before you even understood what love meant. You were not an accident. You are an answer. Your life is not random, it is revelation. This is why nothing has ever been able to destroy you completely. You've been bruised, but not broken, bent, but never buried. The hand of God has always been on you, even in the moments you couldn't feel it. That unseen mark has preserved you when others fell, lifted you when you stumbled, and reminded you again and again that there is something divine within you. So, as you move forward, do not let the world define you by your scars. Let heaven define you by your seal. You are not who they said you were. You are who God decided you would be before the beginning of all things. Every trial is simply a testimony in progress. Every setback, a setup for your divine unveiling. Walk with the quiet confidence of one who has been chosen. Speak with the authority of one who knows their lineage is from heaven. You were marked from birth, not for perfection, but for purpose. And purpose, chosen one, always prevails. You've carried so much more than anyone knows. The world sees your smile, but heaven has seen your sleepless nights. It has witnessed the weight pressing on your chest, the moments when you held everything together while quietly breaking inside. The truth, chosen one, is that your pain has never been wasted. Every tear has purpose. Every scar has meaning. You have been walking through fire, not because you are cursed, but because you are being purified. The heaviness you felt was not a punishment, it was preparation. The deeper the pain, the greater the anointing it produces. You've endured rejection, betrayal, misunderstanding, and silence, all divine ingredients, shaping you into something stronger than what you were before. Sometimes God allows pressure because purpose is being formed in the unseen. What looked like abandonment was actually refinement. The crushing seasons of your life have taught you what comfort never could. They made you rely on God instead of validation. They made you recognize that peace doesn't come from applause, it comes from presence. You didn't just survive those nights, you were being trained through them. You were learning endurance, compassion, and authority, the kind that cannot be faked. You were learning to stand, even when shaking, to worship, even when wounded. The world calls it pain, heaven calls it preparation. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." See, that verse isn't poetic comfort, it's prophetic truth. Morning always comes for those who refuse to quit in the night. Your tears were not the end. They were a signal of transformation. God saw every one of them, and none were ignored. The same hands that counted your tears are the same hands now preparing to crown you with restoration. Beloved, there were moments when you felt like giving up, when the weight seemed too much to carry, but you didn't stop. You pressed forward, even when your faith felt fragile. That's what sets you apart. You endured what others escaped from. And because of that, heaven has marked this season as one of divine reversal. The very pain that tried to bury you will soon be the platform that elevates you. What was meant to silence you will now amplify your voice. You've been tested in private, and God is about to reward you in public. The tears that fell in secret are about to water the garden of your destiny. So lift your head. You are not weak for feeling weary. You are human, but you are also divine, chosen, and unstoppable. You have carried pain, but that pain carried purpose. You have walked through darkness, but that darkness introduced you to the light that never fades. Every season of breaking has revealed more of your real self, the warrior God intended, the one who no longer bows to fear, the one who no longer needs to prove their worth to anyone. You've been refined by fire, and that's why your spirit now carries a glow that trials could not dim. Don't look back at the pain with bitterness. Look at it with revelation. You are standing today because God refused to let your pain destroy you. The fire you walked through burned away everything that wasn't meant for your next chapter. You are not emerging empty. You are emerging equipped. Now, as heaven watches, there is one small thing left to do. Declare that you are still standing, because that declaration shakes the atmosphere. It tells every dark force that tried to silence you that it failed. Type this in the comments right now. Still standing. I'm me. Not as a trend, not as a ritual, but as a prophetic act. When you write those words, you're not typing to an algorithm. You're speaking into the unseen, letting heaven and hell know that no weapon formed against you prospered. You're testifying that every attack only built your endurance. Every heartbreak made room for healing, and every delay set you up for destiny. You've carried the weight, and you've earned your strength. Now it's time to breathe. You're not who you were when the storm started. You are wiser. You are lighter. You are chosen. And the very pain that once tried to destroy you has become proof that grace never left your side. There is something the darkness has always known about you. Even before you did it, fears your light. From the moment you were born, you carried something different, something radiant that could not be explained by talent or taught by men. You have wondered why certain people turned cold, why environments shifted when you entered the room, why opposition seemed to follow you without reason. The truth is simple yet powerful. Your light disrupts darkness. You were never meant to blend into the background. You were designed to be seen, not for vanity, but for victory. The light within you is not self-made, it is heaven-born. And wherever light exists, darkness trembles. That's why the enemy has fought you so hard. He knew before you did that your very presence would expose his schemes. You don't even have to speak for the atmosphere to change. Your obedience alone sends shockwaves through the unseen realm. There are battles you never started yet, still had to fight spiritual conflicts drawn to the flame you carry. People misunderstood you, thinking your struggles were random. But nothing about your journey has been random. Every attack was strategic. Every trial was aimed at dimming your light. Because the enemy knows that once you realize who you are, there's nothing he can do to stop you. You are the embodiment of divine disruption. Your existence interrupts cycles of fear, addiction, generational pain, and self-doubt. Wherever you walk, transformation begins to take root, because the light you carry cannot coexist with darkness. That's why certain relationships ended, why comfort became uncomfortable, why you outgrew people and places that once felt familiar. It wasn't rejection, it was revelation. God was showing you what can no longer remain connected to your assignment. The voice of God thundered in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Those words were not metaphor, they were identity. You are light, not a flicker, not a spark, but a beacon meant to be seen. Hiding was never an option for you. You've tried to shrink, to stay silent, to make others comfortable, but every time you do, your spirit aches, because light cannot be dimmed without dying a little inside. The world needs the illumination you bring. Every act of kindness, every word of truth, every prayer whispered in secret, all of it pushes back darkness more than you realize. You are not small, you are significant. When you walk into a space carrying peace, you're shifting the atmosphere. When you speak truth in love, you're breaking spiritual strongholds. When you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you're releasing heaven's fragrance into places that reek of despair. Never underestimate what happens when you simply show up. The enemy hopes you'll grow weary and hide. But the moment you understand that your light is divine weaponry, his tactics lose power. The more you worship, the brighter you shine. The more you forgive, the farther darkness flees. The more you trust, even when you don't understand, the more your light pierces through. You've endured attacks not because you're weak, but because you're radiant. You've been targeted because you carry what hell fears most: hope. That's what light is, hope in visible form. It's the evidence that even in a broken world, heaven still has representatives walking among men. And you, chosen one, are one of them. But light also reveals. It doesn't just comfort, it confronts. That's why your presence makes some people uneasy. It exposes what's been hidden. Don't take it personally when others withdraw or criticize you. It's not you they're resisting, it's conviction. The same light that brings peace to some will stir discomfort in others. Yet still, you must shine. Never forget, light doesn't fight darkness, it simply exists, and darkness flees. You don't have to prove your worth or argue for your calling. Just stay lit, stay aligned, stay surrendered. Because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more light. And your light carries the DNA of heaven. There will be days when the weight feels heavy, when weariness tries to dim your glow. In those moments, remember, your source isn't the world around you, it's the spirit within you. You are plugged into eternity, powered by grace, sustained by the breath of God Himself. That's why even when you feel drained, you never burn out. You may flicker, but you'll never fade. You are here to light the way for others still stumbling in darkness. Your life is a message that says, there is still hope. So keep walking, keep shining, and keep believing. The darkness can resist, but it cannot win. Because light, your light, was spoken into existence by God, and what He creates can never be undone. There's a certain loneliness that comes with being chosen. You've felt it, the quiet ache of being misunderstood, the sting of being set apart. People have mistaken your silence for arrogance, your discernment for distance, your obedience for rebellion. But you were never meant to fit where you didn't belong. You were never called to be common. Chosen one. Every misunderstanding, every rejection, every cold shoulder was actually divine direction. The truth is, God was protecting you from environments that could not handle your calling. Some connections would have drained the oil you carry. Some friendships would have silenced your voice before it ever had a chance to rise. So heaven allowed disconnection to teach you distinction. You had to lose some people to find yourself. You had to walk alone so that you could learn how to walk with God. At times, you questioned, why do I always end up alone? But loneliness is not emptiness, it's refinement. It's the sacred ground where God whispers what the crowd could never confirm. You've been in seasons where you felt unseen, but being unseen was your safety. God hides his greatest treasures before he reveals them. Diamonds are not discovered on the surface. They are forged in darkness, under pressure, and in silence. So when people turned away, heaven turned toward you. When the world dismissed you, God began to develop you. You were not misunderstood by accident. You were misunderstood by design. The oil on your life is too rare for everyone to recognize. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Even when everyone else walked away, he stayed. When voices fell silent, his presence spoke louder. You were never truly alone. You were simply surrounded by the invisible. Angels have walked beside you when no human hand reached out. The Spirit comforted you when no friend understood. You see, chosen one. Gold does not complain while it's being refined. It knows the fire is forming its worth. That's what your rejection did. It purified your motives. It separated you from everything not meant to follow you into the next season. You are not bitter, you are better. You are not broken, you are becoming. And as you rise now, with clarity and conviction, understand this. Not everyone who started with you is meant to finish beside you. Some were stepping stones, not soulmates. Some were lessons, not lifelong companions. Don't resent them, bless them. They were part of the shaping. When you forgive them, the oil flows freer. When you release them, your wings spread wider. You were never meant to stay in the nest. You were meant to soar. And as you begin to soar, remember, your light was never meant to be hidden under a basket. Your story, your voice, your journey, they matter. When you share them, you give others permission to heal. When you speak, others find courage to stand. That's why what we build here matters. This space, this message, is not just words on a screen. It's a sanctuary. A gathering place for those who have felt unseen. Every like, every share, every subscription. It's not about numbers. It's about resonance. It's about light, recognizing light. When you support this mission, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're fueling a movement. You're planting seeds of faith in digital soil. You're helping these words reach someone sitting in darkness, wondering if God still remembers them. You're becoming part of heaven's echo. And if this message has met you where words often fail, if something inside you stirred as you read, then consider giving back. Not out of obligation, but out of gratitude, like a lantern passing flame to another. Your gift helps this light keep burning. Every act of support, be it a like, a share, a subscription, or a donation, extends the reach of hope. Think of it as lighting another candle in a dark room. One becomes two become 10. And before long, the darkness doesn't stand a chance. That's what your generosity does. It multiplies light. You've walked through misunderstanding long enough to know how powerful a single word of encouragement can be. Let's keep that light moving. Let's keep building this table for the weary and the chosen alike. You are not alone. Not anymore. There's a community of others walking the same narrow road, finding purpose in the pain, learning that separation was never rejection, it was redirection. So breathe deep. Chosen one, the night didn't win. The misunderstanding didn't define you. It refined you. You are still here, still shining. And now you understand the ones who misunderstood. You weren't supposed to see the full picture. Only heaven could. The narrow road has always been lonely. Chosen one. It's not paved with applause or comfort. It's carved with obedience and surrender. Few find it, and even fewer stay on it. Yet here you are still walking, still believing, still holding on to the whisper that told you there is more. This path is not meant for the crowd. It winds through valleys of waiting and climbs mountains of testing. The light is sometimes dim, the air thin, and the silence heavy, but every step is sacred. The narrow road is where faith stops being theory and becomes fire. It's where you learn that obedience is not about understanding, it's about trusting. There have been moments when you wanted to take the easier way. You've seen others sprint ahead while you've been asked to wait. You've watched doors open for them while yours stayed shut. And in those moments, you've whispered, God, did I miss it? But no. Beloved, you didn't miss anything. You're being measured differently. The narrow road doesn't rush, it refines. Heaven is not impressed by speed, it values surrender. You were never called to be fast, you were called to be faithful. And faithfulness often looks like walking slowly in the right direction when everything in you wants to turn back. You've had to say no to things others freely said yes to. You've had to let go of comfort, compromise, and control. You've had to stand still when everything in you screamed to move. And though it cost you, heaven has taken note of every choice. Every act of quiet obedience has been recorded in eternity's ledger. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 26, ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. And these words are not a suggestion, they are a command. God is telling you to walk carefully, to measure your steps not by emotion, but by conviction. Every decision is a seed, and on this road, every seed grows into something eternal. The narrow road doesn't allow distraction. It demands discipline. It requires you to keep your eyes fixed ahead, even when others stop to rest or turn aside. There will be times when obedience feels like loss, when holiness feels like isolation. But remember, the road is narrow because it leads somewhere most will never go. The destination is not applause, it's authority. It's the kind of authority that cannot be earned through comfort, but must be forged in surrender. On this road, God strips away everything false until only the eternal remains. He removes the unnecessary so you can move unhindered. Sometimes that means He removes people you thought would stay forever. Sometimes He takes away what you thought you needed to teach you that He is enough. It hurts. Yes, but pruning always precedes power. You're being cut back so you can bear fruit that lasts. If you've felt the sting of separation, the ache of waiting, or the confusion of unanswered prayers, know this: heaven trusts you with the narrow road because it knows you won't quit. The fire has tested you, but it hasn't consumed you. The silence has stretched you, but it hasn't broken you. Every painful yes has positioned you closer to destiny. You are walking the same road. Many prophets once walked lonely, costly, but covered in glory. You are not behind, you are becoming. You are not forgotten, you are being formed. Every hidden season is building endurance in your spirit, teaching you to see with heaven's eyes instead of human ones. And when this path finally widens into promise, you will realize why it had to be so narrow, because only purity can handle what's coming next. The broad road leads to comfort, but the narrow one leads to crown. You are closer than you think, so don't look left or right. Don't envy the ones who took shortcuts. They reached places, but you're being prepared for purpose. Stay on course. Keep your eyes forward. Every step is a declaration that you choose faith over fear, obedience over option. And now, as a prophetic act of agreement, write this number in the comments: 888, the number of new beginnings, symbolizing resurrection, renewal, and divine restoration. When you type it, don't do it out of habit. Do it as a sign to heaven that you're choosing the narrow road again, that you're saying, "Yes, Lord, even here, even now." It's not just a number, it's a declaration that the old season is finished, and the new one is beginning. Let your faith mark this moment. You've walked through testing, and you've chosen truth. The narrow road may be steep, but it leads to glory. Keep walking. Beloved, you're almost there, in the hidden places of your life, where no applause reaches and no eyes watch. God has been at work. You've wondered why He took you off certain stages, why He silenced your voice when you were finally ready to speak, why doors that looked perfect suddenly closed. It's because heaven trains its warriors in secret. The anointing that lasts is not learned in the spotlight, it is forged in solitude. You are in God's classroom, chosen one. And this classroom has no crowds, no trophies, and no shortcuts. It is a place where pride dies, where motives are purified, where you learn to listen more than you speak. The hidden training ground is where you meet the version of yourself that the world has not yet seen, but heaven has always known. In this place, God strips away what can't go with you. He teaches you that power without purity is dangerous, that calling without character collapses. He refines you until your dependence is not on what you can do, but on who He is. You may feel unseen, but you are being sculpted by the unseen hand of the Creator. We are reminded through the writings of Moses in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 4. When the Lord saw that he had turned aside to look, God called to him out of the bush and said, "Moses, Moses," and he said, "Here I am." And before Moses stood before Pharaoh, before miracles flowed through his hands, he first learned how to listen in the wilderness. That's the pattern of every chosen one before God sends you out. He first pulls you in, before He entrusts you with the crowd. He tests you in the quiet. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. Every hidden season has been divine education. God has been teaching you how to recognize His voice above the noise, how to discern His whisper even when everything around you is screaming. The silence wasn't punishment, it was training. The obscurity wasn't neglect, it was an invitation to intimacy. Do you remember those nights when you sat alone, wondering why nothing seemed to move forward? When you prayed, and heaven seemed still? That was not absence, it was attention. God was watching your faith when no one else was. He was measuring your heart when no one applauded. You thought you were waiting on Him, but He was waiting to see if your devotion would remain, even without reward. In the hidden place, you learn endurance, the kind that doesn't fade when the crowd disappears. You learn to worship without music, to trust without proof, to give without recognition. This is where real authority is born, not in the noise of public victories, but in the quiet of private obedience. The world celebrates exposure, but heaven honors preparation. God hides those He values most. When a seed is buried, it looks like death, but it's actually the beginning of growth. You, too, have been buried not to end, but to sprout. What looks like delay is actually development. What feels like silence is sacred shaping. If you could see what heaven sees, you would understand the necessity of this hidden season. The weapons being formed inside you: patience, humility, faith, discernment, are stronger than any platform could provide. You are learning to fight not with noise, but with knowing, to stand not with pride, but with peace. There will come a time when God calls your name, like He did Moses' 10, and when that happens, you'll realize the wilderness was never a detour, it was destiny. Every lonely prayer was a seed planted for the harvest ahead. Every not yet was protection from premature exposure. You were never behind. You were being equipped. When the unveiling comes, it won't feel forced. The same hand that hid you will reveal you at the appointed time. You won't have to fight for recognition or chase opportunity. The anointing on your life will draw what is meant for you. Doors will open, not because you knocked louder, but because heaven's timing finally said, "Now." So embrace the hidden place. Let it shape you until your obedience is greater than your ambition. Let it quiet you until your heart beats in rhythm with His. When you emerge, you won't just carry knowledge, you'll carry weight, authority, and peace. The world will see your fruit, but heaven will remember your roots. And those roots were formed here in the secret classroom of God, where purpose is sharpened and destiny is defined. You stand now on the threshold of something sacred, something long awaited. The air around you has shifted. You can feel it in your spirit, even if you can't explain it. The tension you've been sensing is not chaos, it's transition. You are one step from breakthrough, standing between what was and what is about to be. It feels both thrilling and terrifying, like the pause before dawn when the night is at its darkest. This is where many give up, when the pressure peaks, when prayers seem unanswered, when nothing looks like it's changing. But in heaven's rhythm, the hardest moment is always the holiest. The darkness before the dawn is not the end. It is the confirmation that morning is near. You are not stuck. You are standing on the edge of divine unfolding. Breakthrough is not always loud. Sometimes it arrives softly, like the first light creeping over the horizon. You won't always hear trumpets. Sometimes you'll just notice that the heaviness you carried is suddenly gone, that the door which never opened before is now unlocked. God works quietly, strategically, and perfectly, always on time. Never too late, as was spoken in the ancient writings of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19. Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Oh, that's what's happening now. Chosen one, God is doing something new. Not just around you, but within you. The wilderness is shifting. What once was dry is beginning to breathe again. Where you saw nothing but loss, life is sprouting beneath the surface. The very ground that felt barren is being watered by grace. The struggle was never proof that God abandoned you. It was proof that something was being born, like a seed pressed into the soil. Your potential had to be buried before it could break forth. The wait, the waiting, the warfare, they were all contractions of destiny. Every sleepless night was the rhythm of something divine forming beneath the pain. You thought you were losing ground, but you were being rooted. You thought doors were closing, but God was changing rooms. You thought the silence meant delay, but heaven was orchestrating alignment. Every no was a divine rerouting toward a better yes. There is a precise moment when the old season loses its grip and the new one begins to bloom. That's where you are right now, between chapters, between breaths, between endings and beginnings. The threshold is never comfortable because you can see both sides, the familiar behind you and the unknown before you. But growth requires crossing, and faith means stepping when the bridge isn't visible yet. Look closely at your life. The signs of breakthrough are already there. The peace that doesn't make sense. The strength that returned when you had none left. The unexpected favor. The subtle confirmations. The inner knowing that something is shifting. You are not waiting for a miracle, you are walking in one. Breakthrough rarely looks the way we imagined. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's disguised in discipline, in daily obedience, in choosing joy when it feels easier to quit. The door doesn't always swing open. It sometimes fades until you realize you've already walked through it. Your breakthrough will not come because of striving, but because of surrender. The moment you release control, heaven releases manifestation. When you stop demanding how and simply trust who, everything starts to align. You may feel the weight of uncertainty, but that weight is holy. It's evidence that your faith is expanding. You are being stretched into the dimensions of your calling. This tension will not crush you. It will catapult you. God has not brought you this far to leave you trembling at the edge. Every lesson, every loss, every delay has been leading to this point. You are being prepared for the door that only opens for those who have learned to wait. So stand still for a moment. Breathe. You don't need to force anything. Heaven has already written the next step. You only need to walk it out. The waters will part as you move. The walls will fall as you speak. The breakthrough is not coming, it's here. And when it fully unfolds, you'll understand that the waiting wasn't wasted, it was necessary. Because what's being birthed now is not small, it's not temporary, it's not fragile, it's eternal. The pain that brought you here will soon make sense. The wilderness will turn into a testimony. The tears will become oil, and you will realize, with trembling awe, that God never forgot a single promise. He was just waiting for the right moment to say, Now, there comes a moment in every chosen life when the road splits, when the sound of heaven's call grows louder than the noise of comfort. You, chosen one, have reached that crossroads of obedience. You stand between what is easy and what is eternal, between the will of man and the will of God. And here, indecision is no longer an option. You felt this stirring before the gentle conviction that whispers, "There's more I'm asking of you." It's not a punishment, it's an invitation. God is not trying to take something from you, He's trying to trust something to you. But obedience always comes with a cost, and that cost is your comfort. The crossroads is never about location, it's about loyalty. Heaven is asking, will you still follow when it doesn't make sense? Will you still obey when it hurts? Will you still say yes even when no one claps for it? Because true obedience isn't measured by convenience, it's revealed by surrender. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Elijah in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow Him. But if Baal, follow him. That question still echoes through time, reaching your heart even now. How long will you hesitate between faith and fear, between what feels safe and what God has said? Heaven is waiting for your decision, not because He doubts you, but because your choice determines your next season. You've prayed for breakthrough, for clarity, for confirmation. But sometimes the confirmation isn't a sign, it's a step. God doesn't always answer with explanation. He answers with instruction. And obedience to that instruction unlocks everything that's been waiting on the other side. This is where destiny divides the crowd. Some talk about obedience, few live it. Some love the idea of calling, but not the cost that comes with it. Yet, for those who dare to obey completely, heaven releases an authority that cannot be earned by talent or timing. It comes only through trust. Obedience is heaven's love language. It's not glamorous, it's gritty. It doesn't always feel holy, it often feels heavy. But every time you choose obedience over emotion, something powerful happens in the unseen. Angels move, atmospheres shift, doors respond. You've learned that delayed obedience is disobedience in disguise. Every time you hesitate, you lose a little momentum, a little of heaven's wind at your back. But when you move in faith, even trembling, heaven matches your pace. You were never meant to carry certainty, you were meant to carry courage. Think of Abraham leaving his homeland with no map, only a promise. Think of Peter stepping onto water that should have swallowed him. Think of Mary saying yes to a calling that would change history. Every great movement of God began with one simple trembling. Yes, this is your moment. Chosen one. The path won't always be clear, but your steps will always be guided. God never calls you to obey without also preparing the provision that follows. The only thing missing is your willingness to move. So right now, as a sign that you're ready to step into full obedience, write this in the comments: I will go. And say it not to the algorithm, but to heaven itself. Say it as a declaration that you choose His will above your own. When you type those 3 words, let them carry the weight of surrender and the fragrance of faith. You're not just typing, you're testifying. You're telling every unseen force that you have decided. No more wavering. No more waiting for perfect clarity. You will go where He leads, even if you don't understand the full path. And when you say it, something begins to shift. Peace replaces panic. Strength replaces hesitation. Doors that have been locked by fear begin to swing open. Because heaven always moves at the sound of obedience. Don't underestimate the power of one decision made in faith. What you choose in this moment will ripple through generations. Every act of obedience plants a seed that your future self will harvest. So, take a deep breath. Look ahead. The narrow path may not promise ease, but it promises presence. And where His presence is, there is no lack, no fear, no failure that can hold you. You stand at the crossroads, but not alone. Heaven stands beside you, waiting for your answer. And when you say, "I will go," all of creation hears it and begins to make room for your arrival. There are voices around you, and there are voices within you, and not all of them deserve your attention. Some whisper doubt, some echo fear, some sound almost holy, but carry no heaven in them. You've been surrounded by noise, by opinions that pull you in every direction. And if you're not careful, those voices can drown out the only one that truly matters. The world has 1,000 ways to tell you who to be. Do more, be louder, prove yourself. But the voice of God doesn't compete, it calls. It's not found in the chaos, but in the stillness. You hear it when you quiet everything else. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And that whisper carries more authority than all the noise combined. Many times, the greatest battles of your life are not fought with swords or storms, but with sound. It's the voice you choose to believe that shapes your direction. The voice of fear tells you to retreat. The voice of faith tells you to rise. The voice of shame says you're finished. The voice of grace says you're forgiven. Heaven and hell both wait for your agreement, because whichever voice you echo, that reality manifests. As the Apostle reminds us in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." A sound mind, that's what you're being called to protect. You can't walk in clarity while entertaining confusion. You can't hear heaven clearly if you keep giving your ear to chaos. God has given you spiritual ears not just to hear, but to discern. Some voices sound comforting, but carry compromise. Others sound harsh, but hold truth. Wisdom is knowing the difference. It's time to tune your spirit like an instrument, to let the noise fade until all that remains is His melody. Imagine your life as a radio signal when tuned correctly. You catch heaven's frequency. Static only comes when you mix signals. And lately, the static has been loud, hasn't it? The opinions of others, the comparison, the self-doubt. All those frequencies crowding the space meant for divine direction. But here's the beauty. You have the power to change the station. You have authority over what you allow into your atmosphere. You are not a victim of noise. You are the keeper of peace. Sometimes that means stepping away from certain environments, turning off certain voices, or silencing your own inner critic long enough to remember who you are and whose you are. You were created to hear God clearly. That clarity is your inheritance. The moment you start listening to His voice again, the confusion begins to lift. It's like fog clearing at sunrise. What felt uncertain suddenly becomes visible. And as you journey with me through these messages, think of this space not just as a channel or a page, but as a lighthouse, a steady beam guiding you back to clarity when the waves of life get high. Every like, every share, every word of encouragement. It's not just support. It's fuel for the light to keep burning. When you engage here, you're not feeding a machine. You're helping build a haven. Every time you share a message, you're placing a lantern in someone else's storm. Every subscription is like adding another candle to a collective flame that pushes back the darkness. And if your heart has been nourished by these words, if this light has met you in your night, then let your gratitude take form, whether it's through a comment, a share, or a simple act of giving. Your support keeps the light alive, like drops of oil poured into a lamp. Every contribution, no matter the size, sustains the glow. Think of the old lighthouses that guided sailors through storms. Their flames didn't burn by accident. They were tended by hands willing to keep the fire alive through the night. That's what you do when you support this mission. You're tending the flame, ensuring that hope keeps shining for others who are still lost at sea. We don't ask out of need, we invite out of purpose. Because this is more than words, it's ministry. It's light work. It's heaven reaching through pixels to touch hearts that have forgotten how to hope. If this message has helped you hear the voice of God a little clearer today, let that light move forward. Like, share, subscribe, or give, as you feel led, not out of pressure, but out of partnership, because together we can make sure the whisper of heaven keeps echoing across the noise. You've heard too many voices telling you who you're not. Let this one remind you who you are, a chosen vessel, a divine señal, a carrier of light. Now, turn the dial of your soul back to heaven's frequency. Listen, the static is fading. The whisper is clear, and it says, "Peace, be still." There are moments in your journey when the battle intensifies, when the air feels thick with resistance, and you wonder if heaven has forgotten your name. You feel surrounded, but not supported, weary, yet still standing. It's in these moments, chosen one, that you must remember you are never fighting alone. There are reinforcements in the unseen, armies of light, moving at the command of your faith. You may not see them, but they are there, angels assigned specifically to your life, carrying out divine instructions spoken over you before you ever took your first breath. Each time you prayed in desperation, they moved. Every time you worshipped while wounded, they warred on your behalf. You've survived things you never understood, because heaven's army stood between you and destruction. It's easy to forget that spiritual warfare is real. We live in a world that tries to explain everything through logic and sight, but the unseen realm is just as real, more real, even than what our eyes perceive. There are forces of darkness that plot, but they are outnumbered by forces of light that protect. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." Those words are not poetry, they are promise. When God calls you chosen, he also calls you covered. You are not walking unguarded. You are escorted by heaven, even in your lowest valley. There are wings stretched above you, shielding you from what should have destroyed you. Think back on your life. How many times did disaster nearly find you, but didn't? How many moments felt like coincidence but were really intervention? You didn't just make it because you were strong. You made it because grace surrounded you. You are here because heaven refused to let hell have the final say. There have been battles you never saw, wars fought in the invisible for the sake of your destiny. Every time you chose forgiveness instead of revenge, angels rejoiced. Every time you resisted temptation, you tipped the balance in heaven's favor. Every time you refused to quit, they stood closer, their swords drawn, their presence tangible, even if unseen. And though you felt the heat of attack, you must know the enemy can only touch what God allows, and even then, only to refine, never to ruin. What comes against you cannot overcome you, because divine protection does not fail. You are shielded not by circumstance, but by covenant. Sometimes, the greatest miracle is not the one you can see, but the disaster that never happened, the car that didn't crash, the illness that didn't spread, the despair that didn't win. Those were angelic assignments in action, heaven's quiet interventions, guarding the life of a chosen one. There are angels assigned to your calling, your family, your future. Some walk beside you, others go before you, clearing the path. They are heaven's invisible soldiers, waging unseen wars while you sleep. And when you wake up each morning still breathing, still standing, still hoping, that's proof that heaven prevailed again. So when the battle feels fierce and the night feels long, remember that you are not outnumbered, you are outprotected. The enemy may roar, but he roars at walls he cannot cross. The fire may come, but it cannot consume what God has covered. There is a heavenly order to your protection. The same angels that strengthened Jesus in Gethsemane now strengthen you in your own moments of weakness. The same divine power that shut the mouths of lions for Daniel still surrounds your life. You are not fragile, you are fortified. You walk with an entourage of light, and know this: your prayers are not whispers into the void. They are commands that activate heaven. Every Amen sends movement through the invisible. Every declaration of faith becomes instruction for angels to act. When you speak life, heaven responds. When you stand firm, heaven fortifies. You've been through storms that made others sink, but your boat never capsized. You've been through fire that should have consumed you, but you came out refined. That's not luck, that's guardianship. You've been surrounded all along. So tonight, rest easy. The same God who commands galaxies commands your defense. The same hand that paints the sunrise holds your tomorrow secure. You don't have to see your protection to trust it. You only need to believe that heaven never abandons its chosen ones. And when you walk tomorrow into a world that feels uncertain, remember this truth: you walk with invisible reinforcements, divine strength beside you, angelic presence behind you. You are never alone in the fight. You are protected, preserved, and purposed. There are seasons when your identity feels uncertain, when you question who you are and why you were chosen at all. You've worn so many labels, some placed by others, some by pain, some by your own self-doubt, that you've almost forgotten the truth. But heaven never forgot your name. From the very beginning, your identity has been written in divine fire. And no failure, no rejection, no fear can erase it. The enemy has tried to convince you that your mistakes have cancelled your purpose. He's whispered lies into your mind. You've gone too far. You've fallen too many times. You've missed your moment. But those lies crumble in the light of truth. You cannot disqualify what God Himself has appointed. You cannot erase what heaven has engraved. Your identity is not fragile, it is eternal. It was written by hands that do not make errors. And when God calls you chosen, He does not change His mind. Your past cannot rewrite your name, only grace can. And grace has already done its work. As was proclaimed in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 17, to the one who overcomes, I will give a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. Oh, that name, your name is not defined by what broke you, but by what built you. It's not tied to the opinions of others, but to the declaration of heaven. You are not who they said you were, you are who God says you are. And He calls you beloved, redeemed, anointed, unstoppable. Your name is written in fire because you were forged in it. Every trial that tried to consume you has only purified you. Every mistake that tried to define you has only deepened your dependence on God. The world may remember your failures, but heaven remembers your faith. That's what sets you apart, the ability to rise again, to believe again, to hope again, even after disappointment. There's something sacred about being rewritten by grace. When God restores, He doesn't repair you to what you were. He recreates you into something new, like gold refined in flame. Your identity shines brighter because of the heat it endured. You are not a summary of your past seasons. You are the result of divine authorship still in progress. The pen of heaven is still moving across the pages of your life, and the ink is made of mercy. Every new day is another sentence of redemption. There's power in knowing who you are. The enemy's greatest weapon is confusion, because when you forget your identity, you surrender your authority. That's why he attacks your confidence, because he knows if you ever truly believe what God says about you, his influence loses its grip. You've walked through moments where shame tried to rename you, but even there, God whispered your true identity, mine. When you thought it was over, He was rewriting the ending. When you thought your story was ruined, He was preparing a new beginning. Your name carries power. It's not just what you're called, it's what you're commissioned to carry. When heaven calls you by name, it's not just to identify you, it's to activate you. There's authority attached to your identity. The moment you believe that, everything changes. So, chosen one, let this be a holy reminder. No matter what was spoken over you in anger or ignorance, no matter what label was stamped on you by those who didn't see your worth, your true name remains untouched. The fire may have changed your form, but it did not consume your essence. You are still marked by divine design. And now, as a prophetic act, I want you to declare your agreement with heaven. Comment this number below. 444, a number of divine stability and identity, representing that what God has established in you cannot be shaken or undone. When you write it, don't do it lightly. Let it be a sign that you're reclaiming your true name, that you're stepping out of false identity and into divine certainty. You're saying, I remember who I am. I am chosen. I am called. I am covered. Oh, let that declaration reverberate through your spirit until every lie that ever tried to rename you is silenced. You are no longer bound by the opinions of others. You are anchored in the affirmation of God. Your name is written in fire, sealed by grace, guarded by heaven. Walk in it. Speak from it. Live as one who carries it. Because no one, not even you, can erase what God Himself has named eternal. There is a remnant rising quiet yet radiant, hidden yet powerful. They are the ones heaven has preserved for this moment in history. They carry oil from secret places, faith that cannot be shaken, and eyes that see beyond the surface. And you, chosen one, are one of them. You felt the separation, the distance, the holy discontent that made you wonder why you never quite fit in. Now you know it's because you were never meant to blend, you were meant to blaze. You belong to the covenant of the remnant. You are part of a generation that refuses to bow to the noise of the world, that chooses truth over trend, presence over platform, purity over popularity. The remnant is not the crowd, it's the called. It's those who would rather stand alone with God than stand accepted by men without Him. This remnant doesn't seek attention, it carries assignment. It doesn't need validation, it moves by revelation. These are the hearts heaven has refined in fire warriors who have known brokenness but came out burning brighter. They are the ones who carry revival in their bones and peace in their gaze. They are scattered across the earth, yet connected by spirit, moving as one heartbeat, one voice, one light. We are reminded through the writings of Paul in the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 5. So too, at the present time, there is a remnant chosen by grace. No, chosen by grace, not by merit, not by status, not by perfection. That's the beauty of it. The remnant doesn't look impressive to the world because their strength is not visible, it's spiritual. They are sustained not by applause, but by anointing. While others chase influence, the remnant chases intimacy. They are not loud, but they are lasting. You've probably felt it before, the sense that you're out of sync with the culture, that your convictions cost you connection, that the things others celebrate grieve your spirit. It's because you hear a different rhythm. The world's song no longer satisfies you. You are tuned to heaven's frequency. God always preserves a remnant in every generation. When compromise multiplies, the remnant remains. When truth is traded for convenience, the remnant stands firm. You are part of that lineage, the quiet warriors who keep the flame burning when others have let it fade. Your prayers matter more than you know. When you intercede in silence, heaven listens. When you choose faithfulness over fame, angels take note. You may never see your name in lights, but your obedience illuminates eternity. That's what the remnant does. It sustains heaven's agenda when the world forgets it. This covenant is not about numbers, it's about nearness. God doesn't need a crowd to change the world. He needs the committed, just a few who will say, "Here I am. Send me." That's how revival begins, not through mass movements, but through surrendered hearts. And make no mistake, you were chosen for this exact time. The world is weary. Nations tremble. Truth is twisted. But the remnant shines brighter because darkness demands it. You were placed in this generation not by accident, but by assignment. God looked through time and said, "This one will endure. This one will carry my light through the storm." Even when you feel small, remember that heaven never measures impact by scale. One voice aligned with God outweighs 1,000 voices of noise. You are a living altar, carrying fire that cannot be extinguished. And though the remnant is often misunderstood, they are never mistaken. They know who they are. And more importantly, whose they are. Their loyalty cannot be bought, and their devotion cannot be broken. They have seen too much of God's faithfulness to return to compromise. They have tasted too much of His glory to be satisfied with surface-level faith. You, chosen one, are not isolated. You are identified. You may walk alone, but you are part of an invisible army, a global chorus of consecrated hearts, across nations, across languages. There are others like you, burning, believing, becoming, and soon the remnant will rise visibly. The hidden ones will be revealed. The silent prayers will become thunder. The world will see what heaven has been preparing in secret. It won't be a spectacle. It will be a spiritual awakening. But for now, stay faithful. Stay low before God and high in hope. Don't seek to be seen. Seek to stay surrendered. The power of the remnant is not in their visibility, but in their availability. When the Spirit moves, He knows exactly where to find you. You are part of something ancient, something unbreakable, something sacred. You carry the covenant of the remnant, chosen by grace, purified by fire, sustained by faith. And when the time comes, you will see why being set apart was never isolation. It was preparation for impact. There is a mystery hidden in your suffering. Chosen one, something sacred that cannot be seen by unspiritual eyes. The crushing you have endured has not been without purpose. The breaking was not a mistake. It was a process. You are being pressed, not to destroy you, but to produce something precious, oil. The oil of anointing does not come from comfort. It comes from pressure. It is born from the weight of waiting, the ache of endurance, the fire of surrender. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer has been part of heaven's refining. You've cried out for power, for wisdom, for discernment. Yet those gifts can only be unlocked through crushing. We find in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Those words hold a paradox so divine that only those who have walked through pain can understand them. The troubles feel heavy, but heaven calls them light. The waiting feels endless, but heaven calls it momentary, because what is being produced inside you is far greater than what is pressing against you. Oil is costly because it comes from something crushed. Grapes must be pressed to make wine. Olives must be broken to release their oil. And so it is with you. The crushing seasons of your life have not been punishment, they have been preparation. You were not being destroyed, you were being distilled. God allowed the pressure to reveal what was pure within you. The parts that couldn't handle the anointing had to be removed. Pride had to die. Fear had to fade. Dependence on others had to give way to total dependence on Him. You have been refined so that when He pours you out, what flows is holy, not human. There were moments when the pain seemed too great, when your prayers felt unanswered, when silence felt cruel, but what you didn't see was the hand of God steadying you through it. Every time you thought you couldn't handle another ounce of weight, He was whispering, "I'm still here. The oil is almost ready." The crushing is always temporary, but the oil it produces is eternal. The anointing that comes from suffering carries authority no sermon can teach. It's the kind that cannot be counterfeited, because it's purchased in tears. That's why your presence carries peace that others can't explain. You've walked through fire and learned to breathe in smoke. You've wept until you found worship in the ashes. The crushing has changed you. You love deeper now, You listen better. You see people not for who they pretend to be, but for who they truly are. Compassion flows from your wounds because you know what pain feels like. You carry healing because you were first broken. Do you see it now? The pressure wasn't punishment, it was purpose in disguise. You were never abandoned in it. The hands that crushed you were the same hands that caught every tear. Heaven doesn't waste suffering. It recycles it into strength. When God allows crushing, He also provides containment. He won't let you spill before you're ready. Oil without a vessel is wasted, and vessels without oil are empty. That's why the waiting mattered. It shaped you into something strong enough to hold what He's about to pour. Even your scars have become sacred now. They are not reminders of pain, but of preservation. Each one says, I made it through what should have ended me. And that testimony carries fragrance, the sweet aroma of someone who has been in the fire and found God faithful. So do not curse the crushing. Beloved, do not resent the process. The oil you carry will heal others. It will anoint leaders, restore homes, and break yokes of bondage. But it could only be formed through the very pain you tried to escape. You are crowned through the crushing because only the broken can truly carry glory. God trusts you with pain because He trusts you not to waste it. And in heaven's eyes, your endurance is beautiful. There will come a day when you'll look back and say, it was worth it. The tears, the silence, the loneliness, they were all necessary to reveal what was hidden inside you. The weight of glory now rests upon your shoulders, and it fits perfectly because it was measured in the fire. You have reached a point where the battle is no longer about survival, it's about assignment. The storm that once tried to drown you has now revealed your strength. Every trial that was meant to silence you has actually sharpened your voice. You've discovered something sacred through your scars. You cannot be stopped when your obedience is complete. You, chosen one, are now walking in an unstoppable assignment. Heaven has invested too much in you for you to turn back now. The anointing you carry has matured through fire. Your heart has been shaped through surrender. What once terrified you now tests you, and what once tested you now testifies through you. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue rising against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is your heritage. You are now standing in a season of divine momentum. The chains that once bound you are lying broken at your feet, and what once hindered you has become the very platform that lifts you. But with great purpose comes greater stewardship. The light you now carry is not meant to be hidden, it's meant to illuminate. Imagine a torchbearer moving through darkness. The fire doesn't just light their path, it gives courage to everyone walking behind them. That's who you are now. Your journey has become someone else's map. Your perseverance has become their permission to believe again. And just as your fire has been sustained through grace, it can also ignite others. That's why this moment, this community, this shared space of faith matters. Every like, every comment, every share, it's not a transaction, it's transmission. It's flame meeting flame. When you interact, you help these words travel further into the places where someone is quietly crying for a sign that God still sees them. Your engagement is oil for the flame. When you support, you aren't feeding ego, you're fueling endurance. Each time you give, whether it's attention, encouragement, or financial support, You're building a lighthouse for souls lost in stormy waters. You're saying, keep the light burning, keep hope alive. And think of it this way, a single drop of oil seems small, but many drops fill the lamp. Every small act, liking, sharing, subscribing, donating, is another drop that keeps the flame steady through the night. Together, we become a city of light on a hill, guiding hearts back to the presence of God. And this isn't about charity, it's about calling. You are sowing into eternity. Every act of kindness, every seed you plant, becomes a ripple that reaches further than your eyes can see. Someone, somewhere, will encounter peace because you decided to keep the light alive. If this message has spoken to your soul, take a moment to engage, not just as a listener, but as a participant. Share what resonated with you in the comments. Let others see that they're not alone on this journey. Sometimes, your words in a comment can be the miracle someone needed to read. When you like, share, or subscribe, you're not just supporting a voice, you're amplifying a movement. You're helping spread light into timelines filled with noise, shouts, and despair. And if you feel led to give, consider it a sacred partnership. You're helping transform this message into ongoing ministry, keeping the flame bright for those still searching in darkness. Because, chosen one, we are building more than content. We are building a sanctuary of sound and spirit, a global cathedral of courage that echoes, you are not alone. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. The harvest ahead is great, and you are part of the workers heaven is sending. Every time you share this message, you're scattering seeds of hope. Every time you sow into this mission, you're investing in souls. Every time you comment from your heart, you're building a bridge for someone else to find grace. Your unstoppable assignment isn't just personal, it's collective. You are part of a divine ripple stretching across nations, reaching into hearts you will never meet, shining light into rooms you'll never enter. And every small act you take here matters eternally. So keep shining, keep sharing, keep showing up. You are not supporting a message, you are sustaining a movement. The same God who lit this fire in you will keep it burning through unity, generosity, and love. Together, we will carry this flame until every shadow has met the light. The time has come, chosen one, for the light within you to expand beyond your personal story. The season of hiding has served its purpose. The wilderness has done its refining work. And now heaven whispers a single command: rise. You are being positioned, not by human strategy, but by divine orchestration. What once felt like delay was alignment. What seemed like stillness was structure being built beneath the surface. You are being raised as a glory carrier, a vessel that holds the presence of God in a world that has grown cold. Glory carriers are not ordinary people. They do not live by opinion, they live by presence. They do not chase influence, they carry impact. Their strength doesn't come from charisma, but from communion. And though the world cannot always explain them, it cannot ignore them either. The ancient words recorded in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 14 say, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea." You may wonder, why me? But the answer has always been the same, because God can trust you with what He gives. Others seek His gifts, but you sought His heart. Others wanted the platform, but you wanted his presence. That is why you are being lifted now, not for status, but for service. Glory is weighty. It is not decoration, it is divine responsibility. When heaven crowns you with it, you must learn how to carry it with humility. The greater the glory, the deeper the surrender. It is not about shining for attention, it's about radiating transformation. True glory carriers draw attention not to themselves, but to the one who sent them. You will walk into rooms and shift atmospheres without saying a word. Your presence will carry peace where there was panic, and hope where there was heaviness. People will feel something they can't name, but heaven will recognize it. It's the residue of divine encounter. Glory is not loud, it's luminous. It doesn't announce itself. It arrives quietly and changes everything it touches. That's what God is doing through you now. The storms you endured purified your vessel so that the light inside could shine without distortion. You had to be emptied of yourself so that you could be filled with Him. And the filling has already begun. The words you speak will begin to carry more weight. The prayers you whisper will begin to shift realities. The ideas placed in your heart will begin to find divine favor, because they are not yours alone. They are heaven's assignments planted in earthly soil. To carry glory means to walk differently. It means you no longer respond to things the same way. You forgive faster, love deeper, listen longer, and speak slower. You recognize that every moment is sacred, every breath borrowed, every interaction an opportunity for heaven to touch earth through you. Do not think that your life is small. You are a vessel of eternal significance. When you move in alignment with the Spirit, you become a living extension of God's heart. Your footsteps become sermons. Your compassion becomes healing. Your endurance becomes prophecy. The glory you carry is not meant to stay contained. It will spill over into everything you touch. Your home will feel it. Your words will carry it. Even your silence will communicate peace. You are becoming a living sanctuary, a moving temple of light. But remember, the glory of God is not about personal elevation, it's about collective restoration. You are not being lifted for admiration, but for impact. The light that shines through you must find its way into others. You were never chosen to shine alone. You were chosen to ignite others. There will be moments when the weight of this calling feels heavy again, but the same hand that anointed you will sustain you. The glory you carry will not crush you, because it is balanced by grace. Every new level of revelation will be matched with a new measure of rest. You will move in peace, not pressure. And as you walk into this next season, understand this: you are no longer waiting for the glory to fall. It already has within you. You are heaven's proof that God still fills ordinary vessels with extraordinary light. You are the evidence that grace transforms ashes into radiance. So walk boldly, not boasting, but believing. You carry the atmosphere of heaven everywhere you go. You are not chasing the glory, you are carrying it. And the world, whether it realizes it or not, is about to feel the difference. There is a hush in heaven now. Chosen one. The journey that began in trembling has brought you here to the edge of fulfillment, to the moment where divine promises touch the soil of reality. You've walked through the valley, endured the storm, and stood under the weight of waiting. And now, heaven releases the final seal, the quiet confirmation that your calling is not temporary. It is eternal. This is not an ending. It is a coronation. You have been tested and proven. What once broke you has become the foundation beneath your feet. The same pain that tried to silence you now sings through your testimony. You have been refined by fire, taught by silence, and strengthened through surrender. And now, God whispers a truth that shakes the heavens. The call is irrevocable. It was written long before you were born, before stars hung in the sky or oceans kissed the earth. God spoke your name into eternity, and that name still echoes through every season of your life. You can feel it, can't you? The sense that something divine has always been guiding your steps, even when you stumbled. That's because purpose does not dissolve in confusion. It deepens there. It is written in the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 29. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. No failure can reverse it. No sin can cancel it. No rejection can remove it. What heaven has sealed, no hand of man can unseal. You have been marked for something far beyond your own comprehension. And though the journey has felt long, every detour has served its design. You are living proof that grace rewrites every broken story. You are the evidence that what God starts, He finishes. You've seen how every wound became wisdom, how every delay became direction. You've learned that divine timing is not late. It is layered, woven through moments that only make sense in hindsight. The call of God does not expire with age, nor fade with time. It breathes, it waits, it endures. Even when you turned away, the call followed you. Even when you doubted your worth, heaven still whispered your name. You could not escape it because it was never attached to your perfection. It was attached to your purpose. And now, as you stand in this sacred stillness, something inside you begins to rest. The striving ends. The question quiet. You finally understand that you were never meant to earn this calling. You were meant to embody it. All the while, God was not demanding your performance. He was perfecting your posture. You bowed lower, and in doing so, He lifted you higher. This final seal is not loud. It doesn't come with thunder or spectacle. It comes like a steady heartbeat, the rhythm of heaven pulsing within you, reminding you that destiny is not ahead of you. It's alive in you. The seal of calling is not something placed upon your head. It is something branded upon your spirit. There will still be challenges, yes, but they will no longer shake you. You will walk through storms now, not as a survivor, but as an ambassador. The winds that once frightened you will now obey you, because you carry the authority of one who has endured and emerged, refined. You no longer seek validation, for you have found identity. You no longer chase purpose, for you have become purpose. Look at how far grace has carried you. The one who once crawled now runs. The one who once doubted now declares. The one who once broke now builds. That is what divine sealing does. It transforms fragility into fire, confusion into clarity, and fear into faith. And as heaven watches, your story is no longer being written in chapters of pain, but in pages of glory. Every line now reads redemption. Every sentence breathes victory. Every word testifies that God was faithful through it all. This is your moment of stillness after the storm. This is the peace that passes understanding. This is the confirmation you've been waiting for, not a new word, but the remembrance of an old one that never expired. You are chosen. You are called. You are sealed. And as that truth settles into your soul, You realize something greater. Your life is not ending in survival. It's beginning in stewardship. You are not leaving the battlefield. You are ascending the mountain. The same God who called you from nothing has now crowned you with glory. The assignment is unstoppable, the promise unbreakable, and the seal eternal. The heavens are silent now, not because they have nothing left to say, but because they are watching the prophecy unfold. You are walking proof that divine purpose cannot be undone. Chosen one. You've reached the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. What began as words has now become awakening. Every section you've walked through was a mirror of your becoming, a reminder that you were never ordinary, never forgotten, never forsaken. Heaven has been writing with you, line by line, moment by moment. Until now, your spirit stands tall, clothed in purpose, sealed in peace. As you close this page, remember, you carry light that the world still needs. These words were never meant to end here. They were meant to ripple outward through you. You are the messenger now. Every time you share what stirred your spirit, you pass on the spark. Every time you speak hope, you extend the reach of heaven's whisper. So, if this message has touched something sacred in you, let it breathe. Like, share, and subscribe, not for numbers, but as a living act of agreement that says, I choose light. Let your engagement become a prophetic echo that helps this voice find those still walking through darkness, searching for the same reminder that found you. And if your heart feels moved to give, do it as worship, not obligation. Think of it as oil poured into a lamp, each drop keeping the flame alive so the next soul can find its way home. Every gift, every word, every act of kindness sustains this mission of light, turning digital space into holy ground. Before you leave, take a moment to comment what resonated most. Your words might become someone else's confirmation, someone's reason to keep believing. You are seen. You are chosen. You are part of something divine. Let's keep the flame alive together.